Hi all, welcome to the video lecture series of Python for Machine Learning. In this video lecture, we'll be discussing about the topic tuples in Python. A tuple is a collection of objects which are ordered and immutable. Immutable means once we have created the tuple, it's not possible to modify it. We cannot change it. Tuples are sequences just like list. But the difference between tuple and list are, first of all, we cannot change the elements inside a tuple. Once a tuple is created, it's not possible to modify it. But in case of list, we can add or remove elements from the list. The second difference is list make use of square brackets, but tuple makes use of parentheses. So how to create a tuple? For creating a tuple, we have to just open a pair of parentheses. Then we have to insert the elements separated by commas. We will see some of the examples now. As in the case of list, in tuples also we can mix up the data types. In the first list tup1 we have 2 strings and 2 integers. So there is no restriction in mixing up the data types, but the only difference is between list and tuple is they use parentheses instead of square brackets, and once we have created tuple1 or once we have created tuple, it's not possible to modify or change it. How to access values in tuples? For accessing values in tuples, we just need to make use of square brackets and index numbers, like we did in the case of list. We'll see some of the examples. We have two tuples, namely tup1 and tup2, and tup1 has got 4 elements and tup2 has got 7 elements. And see tup1 of 0. Okay, so we will be getting the output as physics, because at index number 0 of tup1 it is physics. The index number, as in the case of list, always starts from 0. So tup1 of 0 means at 0th index inside tup1 it is physics. At index number 1 of tup1 it is chemistry, and it goes on like that. So here we have specified only one index number, so we are trying to access one element. Only one element inside this tuple, that is physics. In the second example or second line of code, we have specified a slicing operator. We have mentioned the starting index number colon the ending index number. So like it was done in the case of list, in this case the slicing takes from the index number 1, which is here we have mentioned tup2. Tup2 is this tuple, so at index number 1 the element is 2. Starting from 2, we have to go up to index number 5, but not including the element at index number 5. So this is index number 1, index number 2, index 3, index 4 and index 5. But index number 5 is not considered when we slice, so 1 before the index number 5. So starting from element 2 till element 5 will be displayed when we execute this line of code. Now updating the tuples. Is this possible? We said that tuples are immutable. That means once we create a tuple, it's not possible to modify it. So updating a tuple will not work. It will lead to an error. It's not possible to modify or change the tuple that we have created once. If we want to modify, then we have to create a new tuple with that modification. We will see one example. We have two tuples again, tup1 and tup2. Okay, when we try to access, or when we try to change the value tup1 of 0 equal to 100, initially tup1 of 0 is 12. If we try to modify, if you would try to change that value, it will lead to an error. So it's not possible. We can create a new tuple from existing tuples, that is okay. Like this tup3 is equal to tup1 plus tup2. That means we are combining these two tuples into a single tuple. That is okay. We are combining these two tuples into a single new tuple. That is possible, but modifying the existing tuple will not take place. Will not possible. It's not working. It will not work. It will lead to an error. Now how to delete elements from a tuple? If we want to delete an entire tuple as a whole, then we can make use of the del statement. See here, we have a tuple named tup. It has got some elements, and we are printing that elements. Then we'll be getting the elements inside the tuple. Then see this third line of code. It is del tup. We are asking to delete the tuple named tup. So in this case, this entire tuple will be deleted. So after this line of code, if we try to print the elements inside tup, now there is no tuple like this. So this line of code will generate an error. As we can see, this print tup is printing all the elements here. Then we are deleting the tuple. Then we are printing this statement. So this statement is displayed. And then we are trying to print the tuple that does not exist now because we have deleted it already. So that line of code will generate an error. See, the name tup is not defined. Why? Because before this line, we have deleted the tup already. Now some of the basic tuple operations. The plus and the star operators or the asterisk operators work similarly they worked in the string. That is, plus is used for combining or concatenating two tuples, and asterisk is used for multiplying or repeating a tuple. They work in the same case as in the case of string, but the results here will be a tuple. So you can see here, len method is used for getting the length of the tuple. So here 1, 2, 3, that is the tuple, and we are checking or we are asking to find out the length of the tuple by using len method. So this method will return 3. Here plus is used for combining these two tuples into a single new tuple. And here we have one tuple and its value is, and there is only one element. So high star 4 means we are creating a new tuple consisting of the same element repeated 4 times. Then the membership operator, that is in, we are checking whether this element is there inside this tuple or not. So this will return true since 3 is here, otherwise it will return false. Similarly, our for loop for x in 1, 2, 3. So here x is the variable that will be iterating through each element inside the tuple. So each time x will take one element from the tuple and x will be holding that value. In this case, we are printing the value of x, so the output will be 1, 2 and 3. So all these are similar to list as well as strings. Only difference is the result will be a tuple instead of a string. Slicing and indexing takes place similar to list and string. We can use the square bracket with index numbers and the colon operator to slice a tuple. Here we have a tuple named L, and there are 3 elements: spam, spam and spam exclamation. L of 2 means the element at index number 2. So index number 0, index number 1, index number 2. So L of 2 will be printing the value spam exclamation. L of minus 2 means we are indexing the tuple from the back, from the end of the list, end of the tuple. So minus 2 means negative integers, means the second, here in this example it means the second element from the end of the tuple. So from the end of the tuple, the first element is spam exclamation and second element is spam. So this will result in this word to be printed. Now here we are slicing. We have mentioned only the starting index number. So L of 1 colon means we have to start from index number 1 and we have to go till the end of the tuple. So L of 1 means this word spam, and starting from here it will go up to the end of the tuple, because here we have not mentioned the ending index number. All these are same as in the case of list as well as. Some of the most commonly used built-in methods inside tuple are CMP, which is used for comparing. Here it requires 2 parameters. They are tuple 1, tuple 2. It is used for comparing 2 tuples. So this method will compare the 2 tuples and will let us know the difference between the two. Then we have len method. It is used for getting the length of the tuple. If we want to find out the maximum element from a tuple, we can make use of max method. Similarly, if we want to find out the minimum element from a tuple, we can make use of min tuple or min method. Then if we want to convert a sequence into a tuple, we have already a list or already we have a string. If we want to convert that into a tuple, we can make use of tuple, and that as a parameter we have to give the sequence which we have to. We shall conclude now. In this video lecture, we discussed about tuples in Python. We defined tuples. We saw how to create a tuple, how to access elements inside a tuple, and various other operations related to tuple. And we also discussed about some of the methods, built-in methods available in Python for handling tuples. That is all in this video lecture. Thank you so much.